Whitepine is a 2024 YouTube series created by IvoryTV, blending an intricate storyline with a hauntingly immersive atmosphere. Set in the late 1800s to early 1900s, its aesthetic is equal parts surreal and intimate. Like stepping into a dream that refuses to let go. The story unfolds within the walls of secluded Whitepine estate, where Ivory, a quiet and observant maid, serves the enigmatic Hemlock family. But what begins as a period drama slowly reveals itself as something deeper, a layered mystery rich in symbolism, mood, and human nuance. What makes Whitepine truly extraordinary, however, is its masterful use of cinematography. This isn't just a Minecraft roleplay series, it's a visual poetry. The way the camera lingers on a still moment or gently follows Ivory as she pauses to observe her surroundings evokes a kind of emotional gravity rarely seen in this medium. Every frame feels deliberate, every cut, every movement measured. It's a show that doesn't rush to tell what's happening. Instead, it shows you, quietly, patiently, and you listen, not just with your ears, but with your eyes. At times, I wonder if I've ever seen anything quite like it. Within this genre, the framing, the color palettes, the subtle shifts in lighting, all of it converges into something larger than the sum of its parts. There's a rhythm to it, like prose translated into motion. In Ivory's every glance, there's weight, meaning, a sense that something is being said without a single word spoken. And the story itself, slow-paced yet never idle, wraps around the cinematography like thread around a spool, each scene sawn into the next with care and precision. Whitepine is not just a show you watch, it's a book you were meant to read, one page at a time, except it plays out on your screen. A cardigan wound with intention, stitched with the softest silence and the sharpest tension, a masterpiece that doesn't ask for your attention but earn it. Martin Scorsese, known for masterpieces like Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, The Departed, and The Killers of the Flower Moon, shaped modern filmmaking through his use of non-linear narratives, emotionally layered characters, and bold editing choices like the montage. His work explores themes of guilt, morality, and the complexity of human nature, all while redefining what cinematic storytelling really can be.
What are the essentials to you? What makes cinema?
I think what makes cinema to me, I think ultimately it's something that for some reason stays with you, so that a few years later you could watch it again, or 10 years later you watch it again and it's different. In other words, there's more to learn about yourself or about life.
Cinematography is more than just beautiful images on a screen. It's the emotional language of a film. Through light, shadow, movement, and composition, cinematography tells us how to feel before a single word is spoken. A slow zoom can pull us into a character's mind. A wide shot can remind us how small we really are. The way a camera lingers on silence or cuts abruptly can shape tension, grief, awe, or even peace. What makes this language so powerful is that it transcends speech. It slips past logic and traps into instinct. That's why a well-shot film can stay with us long after the credits roll. It's not just what we saw, but what we felt. Across cinema history, legendary filmmakers have each redefined this visual language in their own way. Stanley Kubrick gave us symmetry and stillness that unsettled us. Akira Kurosawa taught us how movement within the frame can be just as important as the dialogue. Wong Kar-wai turned color and blur into raw emotion. And of course, Scorsese, he brought rhythm to cinema through editing, tension, and character-driven framing. Each of these directors didn't just make movies. They carved out entirely new ways of seeing the world. And today, in unexpected corners of the internet, in indie films, in animations, and yes, even in Minecraft series like Whitepine, we see that language being spoken again. Not copied, not recycled, but reimagined. And that's the beauty of cinematography. It belongs to no single generation. It evolves with each person who is brave enough to pick up a camera and say something real. That same cinematic spirit, the kind born from decades of experimentation and raw emotional storytelling, breathes quietly in Whitepine. It doesn't just imitate the legends of film history, but it echoes them. In its patient pacing, deliberate framing, and subtle use of silence, Whitepine speaks the language of cinema fluently, not with blockbuster flair, but with restrained beauty. And that's what makes it so fascinating. It proves that even within a game engine, storytelling can reach cinematic heights. Of course, if the artist knows how to see. Cinema isn't just entertainment. It's connection. It's the only art form that can blend writing, music, performance, photography, editing, sound design, and timing into a single experience. It's a medium that lets you see someone's thoughts, feel their silence, live in a world that isn't yours. That's what makes it so endlessly captivating. It engages nearly all of our senses and emotions at once. When we talk about great entertainment, we're not just talking about what makes us laugh or cry. We're talking about what stays with us, the moments that echo in our head days later, the scenes we revisit not for the plot, but for how they made us feel. And few mediums can deliver that as purely and powerfully as cinema. It's a mirror and a window, a mirror in the way it reflects our own fears, dreams, and imperfections. A window in a way it opens us to new perspectives, places, and people. Whether you're watching tightly edited short film or a slow-burning series like Whitepine, cinema reminds us that storytelling isn't just about what happens. It's about how it feels when it does. And one of the best representation of that would be in this peculiar episode in Whitepine, where we see the technique, often referred as musical acceleration or tempo-driven pacing. This is an editing technique where the rhythm of cuts or perceived motion is aligned with the music's tempo. Even if the visuals don't change drastically, the music does the emotional lifting, creating a feeling of acceleration or urgency while the visuals remain largely static or slow. Ivory's filmmaking is so good, she's using the music as speed. Though it doesn't blend in with the scene, its sense of pace increases gradually.
The ingredients, knead it, put it in the oven, take it out, let it cool, get the beans, mix it, put it in the oven, take it out, let it cool, decorate it, flatten.
And sometimes, the best entertainment source isn't the loudest or the fastest. As a whole, Whitepine redefines what we think of as Minecraft storytelling. Back in the golden age of the game, it wasn't unusual to see creators using Minecraft as a storytelling tool, building characters, narratives, and entire fictional worlds to keep their audiences engaged. But as time passed, that form of content began to fade into the background. It was seen as outdated, niche, or even childish. Projects like Dream SMP or Hermitcraft, despite their popularity, were rarely taken seriously outside their dedicated fan bases. Now though, we're entering a new phase. Minecraft is evolving again. Fresh names are rising. Lifesteal SMP, Parkour Civilization, Unstable Universe. These newer series push the boundaries of storytelling far beyond what we once expected from the genre, and yet none of them quite reach the level of Whitepine. When I first stumbled upon an edit of Whitepine in the autumn of 2024, I was instantly captivated. Something about it felt different. Mature, elegant, deliberate. I didn't even finish the clip. I didn't want any spoilers. That same evening I came home, opened YouTube and searched for it. And what I found genuinely took my breath away. That single 30-minute episode pulled me into what I can only describe as another reality, a place called the world of Whitepine. And from that moment on, I couldn't stop thinking about it. It wasn't just what happens next or where's the story going. It was something deeper. I want to see more. More of this beauty, more of these haunting harmonies, these soft chords and hushed voices, more of this quiet living world. The sheer scale of the environment, the emotional gravity between characters, the stillness that speaks louder than the action, it all makes Whitepine feel like more than a series. It feels like a memory you never lived, but somehow miss. The world building in Whitepine is nothing short of incredible. It invites comparison to timeless fictional works and dramas. Some viewers even see the shade of Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. But what sets Whitepine apart from any other Minecraft roleplay series is how Ivory uses the game not as a limitation, but as a medium, a visual language. Rather than using the story to showcase the game's mechanics or lean on its traditional features, Ivory flips the approach. The game itself becomes a canvas, not the focus. Minecraft isn't the story, it's the tool used to tell one. Every frame is crafted with care, as if they're being invited not just to watch, but to feel what Whitepine really is. It's not about pushing the game forward, it's about pushing storytelling upward. And just when you think you've settled into the sounds of this world, something remarkable happens. Music enters, but not immediately. In fact, initial use of music doesn't even appear 13 minutes into the first episode. And when it finally does, it doesn't just accompany the scene, it transports you. The soundtrack flows through your emotions, quietly lifting them into another dimension. But this isn't your typical soft piano background or generic ambient loop. The music in Whitepine is ethereal, almost fragile, like a memory you're afraid to disturb. The chords feel misty, suspended in air, as though they're echoing from a distant dream. They drift, they hum, they linger. Each note seems to carry the weight of unspoken thoughts, quietly underscoring what the characters cannot say out loud. It's this restraint, the refusal to overplay emotion, that makes the music so powerful. It doesn't demand your attention, it earns it. And in doing so, it becomes something more than just a sound design. It becomes a character of its own, an invisible presence that breathes life into Whitepine, guiding your feelings with a gentle hand instead of a loud voice. In fact, I would wait for the next episode not because of the story, but because of the music Ivory made. Every note would just ascend me and make me feel in totally another dimension. The fact that this good of a composition is specifically made for a block game role-playing makes your mind boggle, because it sounds unreal. Fan art has always been a natural part of passionate communities, an instinctive way for people to keep the story alive even when the screen goes dark. It's about sharing, expressing, and connecting, and Whitepine is no exception. Since the release of its very first episode, hundreds of pieces of fan-made content have been shared across multiple platforms. Illustrations, animatics, music, theories, even written works, all wound together like threads in the larger tapestry of Whitepine's world. And considering the series' first episode reached over 1.4 million views in under 10 months, a staggering achievement for a slow-burn Minecraft narrative, this response is more than just a fan service. It's a testament to show how deeply the series resonates with people. And people aren't just watching Whitepine, they're feeling it and then turning those feelings into art. Some of these creations are genuinely breathtaking, detailed illustrations capturing not just the characters' faces, but their inner lives, color palettes that mimic the muted, melancholic tones of the series, animations that move with the same soft pacing. There's something profoundly respectful about the way fans treat Whitepine, as if they understand its quiet elegance and want their own work to speak in the same voice. Two examples shine especially bright. Lost Little Girl, a song by Luca908, an artist whose sound is unlike anything else in the space, feels like it was born from the same soul as Whitepine itself. The lyrics ache with quiet longing, perfectly mirroring the emotional undercurrent of the series. And then there's Weeping Willow by J Falls, a track that captures the same balance of beauty and sorrow that Whitepine holds so delicately. These aren't just tributes, they're extensions. Echoes, proof that the story Ivory started continues to live through the voices of others. And beyond music and art, there's the analytical side, the mystery, the speculation. Frostbite Freeman, one of the most impactful and peculiar YouTubers in the space, has done an outstanding job of unraveling the cryptic threads of Whitepine on his own channel with a sharp sense of narrative and distinct poetic choice of words. His videos don't just explain, they explore. He treats the story like an old book with pages worth rereading, always searching and researching for meaning beneath the surface. In many ways, his work feels like an unofficial companion to the series, a spin-off, one might say, drawing viewers deeper into this estate with each theory and reflection. At its core, Whitepine is more than just a Minecraft series. It's a proof that storytelling doesn't need a Hollywood budget to be cinematic. It doesn't need photorealistic graphics or explosive action to be immersive. Sometimes all it needs is a clear vision, a careful hand, and a willingness to trust the audience to feel instead of simply react. Ivory has created something that doesn't just entertain, but linger. Like a dream that never quite leaves you, like a book you finish, then hold in your hands a moment longer before setting it down. The cinematography, the music, the writing, the way characters move and don't speak at all of it comes together like brushstrokes on a canvas, subtle, intentional, and personal. And what makes it even more beautiful is the community that has formed around it. Artists, musicians, writers, theorists, all inspired by something made within the frame of a blocky game engine. But Whitepine transcends those blocks. It becomes something else entirely. There's a quiet revolution happening here, in the corners of YouTube. Beyond the algorithms and trends, stories like Whitepine are providing that digital media can still be art. That Minecraft, often dismissed as a kid's game, can become a vessel for poetry and performance, not in scale, but in spirit. In the end, Whitepine is a reminder of why we tell stories in the first place. Not to escape life, but to understand it. To slow down, to reflect, to feel something real, and maybe, if we're lucky, to carry a piece of that story with us, long after the screen turns off.